What's going on, VC? Represent. Audra. Brett Helm, what up? It's Sunday, still morning, and I just want to give a quick review of a show I went to last night. Peter Murphy came to Omaha last night, and got to see the show. Didn't get to meet him, dang it. But it was a good show, and there were some problems with the sound, and excuse me. Yeah, you know, it was a really good show. The band, his backing band, really played wonderfully. I really enjoyed meeting and hanging out with Andy, Black Sugar, the guitarist, and Peter Murphy was in fine voice. He was, but as I love watching artists, musicians operate, you know, as well as hearing them play their music. I've always been a keen observer of their of little things, you know, kind of like the idea of knowing what it's like to a degree, mainly knowing what it's like as someone who plays music, and then being in front of an audience, some of the different things that could be going on, and a lot of it depending on the dynamics of the personality of the person, you know. I had some good conversations last night with folks before and after, because you can make some general comments about musicians and artists that are true, but then there are those other factors of personality and individual quirks and idiosyncrasies that come into play, especially as artists. Like, for example, I was saying to people that, in a sense, I perceive the diva side of Peter Murphy, and that was misunderstood mostly, you know, because I used this word that's always associated with females, but to me it's just exactly what I mean, not about gender, but about headspace, you know, as far as how one appears to perceive themselves and act in certain ways. And I'm not saying that Peter Murphy is, you know, egotistical diva. I'm saying that as an observer, I see that part of him. And watching him last night, it wasn't so much the diva, but it was the control, or the person who really wants to get it right, in effect, because it was cool. I don't know how many people notice these things, but I was watching him giving his signals to his sound man every song, and he had a code, you know, 3 fingers, 2, 1, pointing up, down, very subtle, you know what I'm saying, but obvious still too to those watching, you know what I'm saying. There were sound problems last night, and to me, I think it just came down to frankly, I thought mic placement actually on the bass drum, and the EQ on the particular range of the bottom end in conjunction with the subwoofers. And it's not a general complaint I have, but it's something that I've noticed, where there's this general tendency for modern day sound, not all guys, but here in Omaha I'm noticing it, real bottom heavy, no matter what the music is. And I don't know, it just seemed to me like it was just real obvious to me that this bandwidth, you know, I can't quite call it, needed to be tapered, you know, and it wasn't, you know. And turns out, from talking to Andy, they had to leave the stage after a bit because the house board went down, the computer went down. Well, that would have told me something, but again, I'm not the sound man at the waiting room. I'm not there, but I played there a bunch, and I've been concerned in the past a few times, and mostly the sound is good, and I hope that this doesn't, okay, it's in the background, really low. You might not even hear it. You know that copyright shit. But anyway, I think that that had a bearing on the overall night. And what I mean is, Peter appears to, you know, like anyone else, he gets into the music, you know what I'm saying? But it dampened particularly I think it dampened the possibility of him doing a second encore, because I could see the set list, you know, and they did what was the set, you know, and the set encore. She's in Parties was my favorite, and you know, I'm not a deep Bauhaus. I've known them all along, you know what I'm saying, but I was never like a deep person that was really into them and know all the songs. You know, I have their first album and several singles. But She's in Parties, when they played that, and just watching him and hearing him hit that She's in the Can, that was badass. But I think that because of the sound problems, he, I don't know this, but I understand that at times they have done second encores where they dip back into some more Bauhaus, and they didn't last night. And he also didn't come hang out. Now, I waited a long time, and he ended up slipping out to the bus. I waited inside, and that's how I met Andy. He came out from the dressing room after a while, and we talked quite a bit. You know, guitarist from New York, good, very good player, as it turns out. Had a great look, but most importantly, he brought it. I mean, he played well. The band played well. So as I'm leaving, you know, there's still a line waiting out by the bus, and I said, good luck. Maybe he'll come out, but I'm kind of doubting it, you know. So I just went on home. But overall, I'm really happy I got to see Peter Murphy. That man's voice is still on point. He can still do it, and I like the way he works the microphone. I love seeing someone that has done what they do to the point that they really know what they're doing. And he could hit those growls, and he pushed himself a few times. I think as much as it's for the audience, I think he does it for himself still. You know, it's like, you know, like I can still do this. You know, he's younger than me, but he's in his 50s, and it was good. The opening band, Ringo Death Star, were good because I bought these. I keep losing earplugs, and this was as close as I could find to the kind I used to use, that a particular kind that I couldn't find that really worked well, and these aren't doing it. So what I'm saying is I listened to a bit of Ringo Death Star, kind of a My Bloody Valentine guitar wash thing. Really good sounds. The guitar player is really good, but it was loud, and so after a few songs I went outside to save my ears for Peter Murphy. Had I had cash to spare, I would have probably picked up some Ringo Death Star vinyl. There was no Peter Murphy vinyl. The new album apparently is not out until July, and I just, you know, I'm not into buying CDs. Also, thankfully, a friend, Christina, couldn't go to the show. She had a ticket and gave me hers, and that just saved my butt. You know, man, thank goodness for friends. With that said, also, I take a lot of selfies at the shows. I run into people that I see and then haven't seen in a long time, and what I've been doing is taking selfies and tagging people on Facebook, regardless of what the NSA may or may not want that shit for. To me, it's helpful because it's helping me remember people, and I just keep running into people, and it's just really wonderful, you know, just so many people that I'm connected to in different ways over the years, and people are generally looking really good these days. You know, looks like people are taking care of themselves, and so on that note, I'm going to keep it at about the 10-minute mark today. I just wanted to let you know that Peter Murphy was really, actually, it was excellent, you know, and it probably would have been over the moon except for that dang sound problem, you know. All right, have a good one.